Joining us now, Grover Norquist, president of Americans for Tax Reform, Michael Faulkender, former assistant treasury secretary for economics, now the chief economist at AFPI, and back with us is the Drift, Kevin Hassett, former chair of the CA. Grover Norquist, you know, at some point, socialists have to learn. They run out of other people's money. Are we there now? And if we are, how do we fight it?
We're en route. Step one is never raise taxes, never raise taxes, never raise taxes, because they spend it and more. So that's step one. And step two is fight to keep the spending down.
Keep the spending down. You know, I hate to do this, but going back in time to the Harding-Coolidge era, okay, I know it's very old-fashioned, but those are important historical people, even though the left wing hates their guts. They cut spending. Yeah. And they cut taxes, and it was so successful in terms of growth that they were able to slash the federal debt along the way. Now, there's a thought that is just not on the radar screen, or barely.
But it's not just a thought. It's history. It happened. So when you suggest something and you say, by the way, we've done this, not in Kenya, but here,
yes,
okay,
right.
And in living memory, and the numbers are there, it really helps to be able to say this has been done before, under our own system. The left likes to imagine what might be in, why don't you try stepping into traffic and see what happens?
Why don't you try reading some history? Mike Faulkender, is this Congress, and I guess this administration, going to spend the next 2 years essentially fighting recession and or an economic slump, and therefore what?
Well, I'd hope that what this Congress focuses on is putting us on a long-term path to prosperity. Yes, there's going to be some headwinds confronting us, but I would say the most important thing for Congress to do is get us back towards energy independence, get us back towards a budget that is sustainable, and address some of the things that the Biden administration has been doing to the economy to deter prosperity.
I'm a little concerned. You know, you made the point weeks and weeks and weeks ago on this show that restoring energy independence, ending the war against oil and gas, fossil fuels, because that stuff permeates the entire society and the entire economy. I'm not hearing that from our friends now running the House. I'm troubled by it.
Well, I'm giving them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that getting us back to energy independence is a complicated thing, and that once we get the committee structure up and running, they have assured us that one of the first three bills, either H.R. 1, 2, or 3, is going to be an energy independence bill. But it's essential that we get back to an all-of-the-above energy strategy because, as you said, nothing has done more to alleviate poverty around the world than access to low-cost energy.
Yeah. Kevin Hassett, this idea of cutting spending and cutting taxing is kind of a lost art. You can do one or the other. Recently, they've done neither. They've been increasing them both. And by the way, cutting spending and cutting taxing and cutting the debt because of growth, I mean, that's one of the things we learned in the 1920s, but we've seen it since then where supply side has been put in place. Why don't people know that? It's an economic issue, Kevin.
Right. Well, I think that the Democrats are just in denial and that they've got us basically on a path towards destruction, fiscal destruction. And, each year it's like they're addicted to spending and they take us another step down that road. But to put it into perspective, in the current Congressional Budget Office outlook for the next 30 years, we end up with more debt at the end, 50% relative to GDP, more debt than Weimar Germany had before their hyperinflation. And that's in the current outlook. And so what Republicans are doing right now with the debt limit showdown is they're sort of saying, well, we're guaranteed to default if we stay on the path, so let's get off the path. It's not demented. It's the only responsible thing to do.
It is the responsible thing to do. All right, we're all getting the hook. Grover Norquist, Michael Faulkender, Kevin Hassett, thank you. Next time we'll have more time for you, but I think you got the message.